interesting that writing it out, we've always been planning, but writing it out has taken it to the next level and to visually see it. But guess what else it does that just popped in my mind? And this is interesting talking about this because a lot comes out. I think in writing it out and having those meetings, when you hear people say that one of the parties, we won't say which party we hear more of this about, but is nagging. Nagging, 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 nagging. Do you think writing things out, because I think that nagging at a point also contributes to communication, which contributes to, this 50% number that we have. Do you, for the D word, do you feel like nagging, us having our meetings and writing things out and being accountable and coming back to that board impacts nagging from either of us in the marriage?
Okay, first of all, you don't nag.
Oh, thank you, babe.
Yes.
It just oh, stop it.
It was for the camera. But no, again, if it's really because you write it out, you put it there. It's almost like a document. It doesn't have to be notarized, but it makes you feel good because you need to know that if you got a balance, business can be it's not just financial, it's also time or events you got to go to. It's another reason. Sometimes you're like, hey, what about this? I can't do it that day because I got. Oh yeah, that's right. So it just helps. I mean, that's another thing. Hey, don't forget you got a disappointment.
Or wellness,
Right.
like, hey, we've only worked out one day this week, or eating, or like, we really cover everything, like every part of our life, or reading a book. We are even accountable to that point of, I'm reading 12 books this year. I'm reading 24 books. It literally breaks down into everything that will make us a better person, a better husband, a better wife, a better sister, brother, mother, daughter, niece, nephew. It makes us better in those roles that, we fall under. It does. Wow. This was really good talking about this. So, let me ask you this. And going forward with our meetings, is this something that you would think would you encourage other couples to do?
As far as
Our meetings, the meetings we have where we write and erase on our
yeah,
driveways.
I mean something you have to ease into that. You can't always tell people how to run their relationship.
That's true.
Some people may take to offense to it, but if it's something that's part of a conversation, you can just mention it. Not necessarily, man, that's what you need to do. Be like, hey, well, this is something I've done sometimes. Do this, and that way I can set up everything I need to. So later on down the line, you got things in order just in case something bad happens, or just whatever. You gotta be ready for that. And so it's good to have an idea going before it even gets to that point because you don't want to just get there.
Yeah.
But also like you sacrifice. I mean, the younger years when I do rough games, I might make a couple of bucks, and then I go right out and have a good old time and just going to the lounges and parties and kicking it. And now I'm getting with that money. What I typically do now is figure out, hey, I gotta pay this credit card bill. I ain't gonna pay itself.
Yeah, and then you pay it off in full, but we're not
Right.
gonna get in finance and all of that. But you use your credit cards as a tool, and you
Right.
pay them totally off, so that it continue to build your credit and not interest. But that's all part of a plan that you set up with your mate, like we've talked about. What credit means to us, why it's important, how do we build it, all of that. Wow. I kind of I want to shake your hand. I don't know what I want to do, but I'm really like, this is really eye opening to the fact of how our meetings, and coming up on a meeting, we actually have a meeting scheduled for tomorrow, but it's just so interesting how big these meetings play a role in are interwoven into our relationship, so much so that you don't even know that it's impacting it because it's a part of our lives. And I really do appreciate our meetings because, sometimes I feel accomplished. Sometimes I feel like I need to pick up the weight. Sometimes I feel like, okay, did we get anything accomplished? But it puts the curiosity in our minds to make movement. It builds the momentum. Similar to relay races.
Oh, yep.
It builds the momentum. So, in as we think about all of the things we've done and planned for and have done, and you mentioned something. You hear different couples have different ways of doing their money. Some do joint accounts, some do separate accounts. And all of that. And oftentimes when you're talking to people about money and relationships, it is that disjoint. Is that a word?
Yes, it is.
The disjointness that starts to shift and either pull people away or closer together because they see that something needs to be pivoted. And I feel like our meetings allow for pivoting to happen in a tremendous way.
Yeah.
What are some things that you think in the future, even with technology now and AI and all of these devices, how could we possibly tie those into meetings? Or how, because everybody's in this fast-paced world and we meet, would you say it's an hour? Sometimes it just goes on. We talk about everything and it may lead to a date day or whatever. But I'm trying to think how meetings could be implemented more so. Like, could it be as simple as couples just, one, we put it on our calendar. Right. Our meetings, our calendar dates, like our work and business, our calendar dates. But what it could be? It could be just 5 minutes. Starting with 5 minutes.
Yeah. Just bring each other up to speed. But then, just bring each other up to speed and just, understand, hey, well, I think with this concert is coming to town, but it's going to be next month or 2 months. And you got to be thinking like, hey, do you want to get tickets? Let me take a look at the tickets first.
Yeah, tickets to concerts.
If it's the Beyonce concert, I might have to sit it out. No offense, Beyonce, please don't come after me.
Oh, Lord.
I just use that as an example. But I'm just saying, if it's reasonably priced, those things. But again, that's something that you plan for. Is that realistic? Because we got this event coming up. We got this, and we start looking at our calendars. It's like, nah, that's too much. Because
But planning, when you plan, it allows for the residual income. It allows for the play money. It allows you to have the play money to do those things.
Right.
So I really, actually talking about our meetings and recording this really has opened my mind to see how, I talk about meetings to other married women if I'm out and I'm like, we do this and it's really cool, but actually talking about our meetings to you and recording this makes me realize how powerful those meetings are. They do a lot for our marriage. They really do. Even to, from wellness, all wellness, to finances, to learning, and we really touch on everything. I can't even think of everything because we touch on everything that makes us a unit and makes us grow closer together. And what that also does is that friction I was talking about, it levels it. So when there is a disagreement, because disagreements happen in marriages, you're able to either go back to what's on that board, or something as simple as we've had a disagreement. We said, let's go walk. Let's go walk. One, we're killing two birds in one stone. We're getting that one time in of working out at least. We have 3 that we've agreed to, but let's go walk and go get some steps in and talk this out. Let's communicate. Let's talk about it. So as we progress in our marriage, would you keep having meetings?
Definitely. I mean, we just illustrated since the beginning when we after we got engaged, we started planning. So yeah, it definitely opens up your eyes a little bit, like you said, and it's just a different perspective. But if you really think about it, that's all for planning, and you have to continue planning because it's it's a rough world out here.
And I think in our planning, it helps keep us protected because we're protected and covered. But I think in our planning, that's another layer of it. It helps us deal with what's happening in the world because again, 2008 was traumatic, and we both went through because we got married after 2008. But that time was such a pivotal moment. Millionaires were made, and the opposite was happening too. So why this is so important, talking about meetings, because we're coming up on a precipice of that time again, where millionaires can be made, or you could lose lots of money, lots of relationships, lots of connections if we don't slow down and talk to our people. So yes, we're talking about meetings as a couple, but we're saying sit down with your family, sit down with yourself, because yes, we meet, but guess what? I have my own goals that I have written down and I come back to and check. So we have to slow down and take the time and write it out, make it plain, write out our goals, come back and make ourselves accountable. Put that board on the refrigerator, and that board says, this week I'm going to take the screen out the security door and put the glass in. Just simple things. And simple things, it's like gratitude. You know how they say if you don't have anything to be thankful for, just find the smallest thing. And then the next day you'll come up with something else. It's the same thing with your goals. Just start with the smallest thing. It may be that you work out for 2 minutes, or you don't drink any pop that day, or that you don't eat any potato chips that day. All of those are goals and plans that you need to commit to, write them out, and reward. Just check them off. Check them off. Come back and check that board off.
Definitely want to check the board off, but again, and that's what I'm saying. It's just like, hey, if you watch like cop movies and stuff like that, when they solve a case, doom doom.
Mm-hmm. And they have a board.
They have a big board.
They have a board that is visual with notes and information.
And, right, they go up there, or sometimes you just you have a great moment, and it's just something you feel good about, and you should always feel good when you accomplish something because you set that goal for yourself, and you have to be motivated to get to that end, And then once you get to the end, then you can be happy for that moment, and then you got to set another goal.
Set another goal. So you just told me something. So it feels good when we do our board and we erase the things that we accomplished. We clean them off the board.
Don't I strut like George Jefferson every time? When I go to the board, when I complete something, I got a whole strut.
You too. Yes,
I'm
you
like,
do.
hey, look, it's done. It's off the board. I'm about to do this other thing.
Yeah, it does feel good to reach those goals. And it's the act of it. Yeah. It's the act of erasing it off the board. Oh, I did this. That's done. It's very different than my notes in my phone. So my day-to-day things to do, I have my notes in my phone. I got to call these people. I got to write a condo or whatever I have to do. That's different than the act of going to that board and either checking it off and like, yeah, I got it done, or erasing it because not only did you get it done this week, but you've completed it. Resolution feels amazing. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else you'd like to add?
Thank you for having me again on your show. This is actually great. I'm enjoying this. This is really wonderful.
It sounds so weird to say your show, but I'm trusting in what God wants me to do, and any information I have or anything creative you and I have done, and the fact that we're having a meeting tomorrow and what it has done for our marriage, of which will be 13 years this year, December 29th. It has really made us come together and grow, not throw money away. Like really accountable. Yeah, we this much came in. Okay, well, what we gonna do with this, this, and this? Instead of eating it out away, or going to buy a brand new car, or
Right.
I don't know, buying a bunch of gadgets. Because what I realize, and just amongst people, is we just, oh, it's $5. That's nothing. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. When Terrence and I first got married, we literally started, I think, what were we saving, $25 a month? We were saving $25 a month. Okay? And what planning will do will have you saving not $25 a month, but saving more money. Okay? So planning is the key to relationships. That 15 minutes a day, that is the percentage they're saying out there in the streets right now, and in articles and the data for marriage. If we want marriages to last, we have to talk. And talk about the hard things, um, the goals that didn't get accomplished, why they didn't get accomplished, should they stay on the board, should they stay in our hearts, should it stay in our soul, or should we move away from it? But planning and communicating are very important in fostering and building a strong foundation. And again, I'm going to say, not just a married foundation. I'm talking about family or even your individual foundation. You have to write it out and make it plain. Thank you so much for joining us today. This has been great, and come back again and watch us.